Okay, next tutorial. This time I'm dressed up as a character which I don't actually have a name for yet. It's just one of those makeups that I made up on the spot. I knew I had these skeleton hands and I really wanted to incorporate them somewhere in the makeup, so I kind of worked backwards and this is what I come up with. Yeah. It's one of those characters that really feels like it needs a backstory because there are a lot of different elements in here that kind of tell a story on its own, and I had so much fun doing this makeup. So if you'd like to learn how to do this makeup for yourself, stay tuned. Okie dokie, so step one of this tutorial is to pop on a plain latex bald cap. And for once, I'm not actually going to need to blend the edges of my bald cap because the prosthetic that I'm going to be using will cover them. So as always, to save some time up, I'll pop a link on the screen up there that will take you to a video that I did in the past to teach you how to pop on a bald cap. That way I don't have to recap it in this video. So I'm going to go pop on my bald cap and we shall go from there. So next, I can talk about the prosthetic that I'm going to be using. I'm actually really excited because I've had this prosthetic now for a while and I've really wanted to use it. It's definitely one of the more unique pieces I've ever had. As you can see, it's not quite a skeleton, but it's also very demonic. I mean, especially with the horns and the fact that the teeth aren't exposed. I'm just really excited to see what this one will turn into. It's also one of the biggest prosthetics I've ever used, especially considering how the headpiece goes quite far back on the bald cap. That's why I didn't really need to blend the edges. Excuse the eye areas and the nose area, they get pulled out just before I apply the makeup. I'm also considering separating the jaw piece as well, making this into two pieces just so it's a little bit more movable. So this prosthetic is actually made of foam latex, and as with most of my foam latex pieces, I got this from Mostlydead.com. I'll flash that link on the screen there. That link will also be in the description bar below. I'm so excited to see what this is going to turn into because I don't really have a plan for this time. I just want to see where the makeup goes. It's going to be fun. So to stick foam latex prosthetics down, I like to use Prostick. It's just a really strong prosthetic adhesive. And I like to apply that Prostick with paper-based cotton buds. So as this piece is quite large, I'm going to work in the middle of my face first. So I'll apply a small amount of Prostick to my nose area, then the same area on the inside of the prosthetic. I'll let that go tacky for about 10 to 15 seconds, then I can stick that down. I can then do exactly the same thing again, but this time going around the face and away. So after I stick the nose down, I'll stick the cheeks down, then I'll stick the forehead down, then the lip area down, and I can start working away until everything is nicely stuck down going away. That way everything will conform nicely to my face and there won't be any ridges or any puckering. So then, once everything is stuck down, we can take some more Prostick and a new cotton bud and we can start applying that to all of the edges going around the entire face, the nose and the eyes. So make sure that when you apply it rolling away from the edges so you don't lift them up. That way when it's nice and dry, it seals them off and blends it off into the skin. Then, when everything is dry, we can start colouring in the foundation. So I'm going to be using a Superstar white face paint for this, and I'm going to apply that all over my face, excluding my eye area, my mouth area, my ears and my neck. I'm then going to take another face paint by Superstar, this time in black, and I'm going to apply that just underneath my cheekbones, around the socket line of my eyes, and also the new temple area. So this step is going to look a little bit messy until we blend it out, but that's the beauty of it. We're just going to work out where the dark points are going to be, and then we can manipulate the colour afterwards. So I can then take my brush and just dip it in the water and not any extra black colour, and I can just start manipulating the colour that's already there. So for example, I can take the black that's on the temples and pull that colour away. The same with the eye area, I can just blend that colour away until it fades off. The idea is we're just manipulating the colour that's already there to kind of add a grayscale to this look. Then whilst we're still manipulating that colour, I'm just taking a tiny bit more black and I'm just adding it to the darkest points of the temples, because that's going to be the most hollow point. So we can just keep applying that. The same will happen for the cheekbones as well, because just by adding that extra bit of dark colour, it really makes the face look a lot more hollow. Then after that, we can go back to some more blending, making sure not to disturb this harsh dark line that we've drawn. So by now you can hopefully start seeing the effect that I want to go for. So then I can do exactly the same method that I did around the eye area on the bottom half of the face and around the horns. So I'm just going to take my brush with the black watercolour again, just go in the corners of my mouth on both sides and just under the jawbone. And then doing exactly the same technique that I did on the top half of the face, I'm going to take some water on this brush and then start manipulating this colour towards the centre. And I'm going to do exactly the same for the horns, just apply some more watercolour really heavily around them and then blend that colour away, this time blending it as far back as possible. So now, as you can see, I'm just working on adding some texture in here. So to do that, I'm just taking a fluffy brush, which is only slightly damp, and I'm dipping it head first into the black watercolour. And then I'm taking the brush and I'm just applying it in random areas like this. And just before it dries, I'm taking a slightly damp cloth and I'm just blotting the area where I went with the watercolour. So when you're done, it should look something like that. So it's nothing particularly special. I just wanted to try something different to see if I can break up the blot complexion. Then before we do anything else in this area, I'm going to start colouring in the eye area and the mouth area. So taking the black face paint again, I'm just going to colour in the entire eye socket area and this area here around the mouth. So next, I'm going to start the fun part, which is going to be some forehead detail. So I was going to do this freehand, but I think this is going to be something that's going to be a lot easier for people if I were to use a stencil or a tattoo. So this is just a temporary tattoo that you apply water to the back, then peel it off and it leaves behind a nice transfer. I just thought it'd look really cool with this design just straight in the middle. I actually got this design off of eBay. It's pretty awesome, but you can get a lot of different designs. It doesn't have to be any particular design. There are a lot of them to choose from. So I'm just going to pop this down onto my forehead, apply water to the back of it, and then peel the design away. So there we are. I just think it helps add to the overall character of this look. So then I'm going to take a M.A.C Fluidline in Blacktrack and use that to colour in the waterline of both my eyes. Okie dokie, so once that's done, we can start the next step, which I'm really excited about because I'm not too sure if this is going to work, but I thought it would be fun to try. So a quick backstory, when I did my King of Hell makeup, I bought some skeleton hands. Yeah, I actually bought quite a few of these because for that tutorial I removed some of the fingers to make a skeleton finger crown. And seeing as I have 2 left over, I thought, what can I do with these? So that's where this whole idea of this makeup come from, because I thought it'd be fun to apply them to a makeup on the sides of the face, maybe going over the eyes, I'm not too sure yet, but I thought it'd look really cool. That's also why I haven't neatened up around the edge of the face yet, because you can't really see it once these are applied. So I got these off of eBay, they're just skeleton hands. And to stick them down, it shouldn't be too much of a problem because latex is a really good base for most adhesives. And the one that I'm going to be using is Telesis 8, it's just the strongest adhesive I know for makeup. So I'm going to apply some Telesis 8 to the underside of the hands, give it a few seconds to get tacky, press that down and we'll see what it looks like. Okie dokie, I just think it's a really fun element. It really helps kind of build up this kind of Mad Max style character. I think it's really fun. So then, just to make the hands look a little bit less clean, I'm going to take some Fleet Street Fake Blood in Dark, and I'm just going to dab that really lightly over the knuckles of the fingers and just in between a few random areas. Then next, I can take my trusty black hairspray and I can spray a halo effect around the outside of the back of my head. So the reason for that is my costume is going to involve quite a large hood and I really want the face to kind of peer out of the shadows. So if you are going to do this step, make sure to do it in a well-ventilated area. I myself am going to do it outside. You hold the hairspray at an arm's distance, never any closer than that. You take one deep breath in before you start spraying and then you go around the outside of your head, no further forward than this area here, making about 2 or 3 laps just until you have a nice dark gradient towards the centre of the face. So I'm just going to go outside, quickly do that and we'll see what it looks like. So there we go, I just think it's really going to help when the costume's applied. So speaking of which, I think all that's left for me to do now is pop on my costume, pop in some contact lenses and we'll see what it looks like. And there we go, that's my look, officially complete. So I finished off the look by popping in 2 black and white sclera contact lenses. I know the eyes are partially covered, but I really like the idea that you can see them peering out through the skeleton hands. It's just really creepy and awesome. The costume I popped on I actually got from Amazon. It's just this really cool looking robe. I think it's kind of in keeping with the look. I did also pop on my skeleton gloves, which I've actually used in a few videos now. I just really love them. I do believe they were part of a ghost pirate costume that I got from buycostumes.com. And finally, I did paint my neck black as well, just so that there's no actual skin showing through the costume. And yeah, so that's my tutorial. I really hope you all enjoyed it. It's another one of those ones that I made up on the spot. I just knew I wanted to incorporate these hands somewhere. Hopefully all the elements came together and it's an effective look. I really am digging the hands. They're like tiny little jazz hands for your face. So again, thank you all so much for watching this tutorial. I do really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did like it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. And yeah, so until next time, bye fluffies!